Halo guys, ketemu lagi dengan gua RAGILDEGOZAIMASU dan video kali ini kita bakal bermain Stanley Parable. Game dimana kita menjadi Stanley question mark dan mungkin ini akan jadi game santai dulu karena ada beberapa kendala yang terjadi di aku mau main game lain, tapi karena
Stanley
ada
worked
satu
for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Okay.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
Loh, kok nggak ada apa-apa di samping kanan kiri? Apakah cuman Stanley sendiri? Ya, selama Stanley senang.
Something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Hi.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oke. Kita bergerak sekarang. Oh, Stanley nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain. Oke deh. Tapi kok geraknya wonky gini ya?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oke. Oh, di mana? Ruang meeting. Pip pip. Ih, mati. Lo kok mati? Oh, itu kita pencet. Bisa gak sih kita ngambil barang satu? Kok nggak ada orang? Orang. Where orang? Kita di mana nih? Agak frame rate kayaknya. Buka.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left tuh kanan kiri bang. Oh ya, left ini. Kita ikutin instructor dari ini dulu ya, narator. Asik, narator.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Kalian dengar gak? Kita ngetik apa cok anjir? Ketutup sendiri.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Kita nggak bisa ngambil ini.
There was
Rens.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Aku mau ngambil sesuatu bang, mau ngambil ini, mau ngambil sapu, mau ngambil ember.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Aku mau ngambil sesuatu, boleh gak? Orange gitu? Supaya bisa bernahan.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing? Why?
No.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Aku mau ngambil sesuatu tapi nggak bisa bro. Tas kete.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Tapi kan aku kan mau ngambil sesuatu, Rens contohnya. I see Rens
Maybe
in
to
here.
you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oke. Aku mau melakukan sesuatu. Aku mau ngambil sesuatu. Narator,
Stanley
tolong.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
The fuck? Iya. Kita nggak di itu lagi. Loh, kok berubah?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Kok merah?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Loh.
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Loh.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they
Yeah.
simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm
Kita
still
nggak boleh balik
lucid."
lagi nih.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Terbang kita.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Anjir, kaget gue.
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Kaget
After
gue.
all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That this
Aku nggak
was a
tahu,
dream.
guys. Dia ngomong terus
So he
aja.
closed his eyes gently,
Wow.
and he invited himself to wake up.
Tuh.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
My life
I
is
am
normal.
Everything will be fine.
Jadi Mr. Normal yang ada di
I
sponsor, guys.
Okay.
Okay. It's kind of creepy. Oke.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a
Kaget.
boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, oke. Oke.
This
Ini bukan-
is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What? Berubah?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
What
And
the?
although she would
What?
soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real
Okay.
and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oke. Ah. Oke. Kita mengulang lagi ke ruang Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Sepertinya dia mau kita melakukan apa yang dia mau. Gak bisa. Oke. We can. Mark. I hate Mondays. Oke, I hate too. Everyone hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oke, kita ikutin sekarang. Oke.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Get out,
decided
Chris,
to go
of
up to
the
his
broom
boss's
what
office,
the
hoping he might find an answer there.
Oke. Who move my desk? Please keep target of the topic. Oke. Let's nampel. Broom closet. Maybe not now.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Coba kita ke atas ya. Oke, kita ikutin apa mau dia sekarang. Bos, mana bosnya?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Gimana sih? Oh, ini bro. Berapa? Berapa tadi?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He
Tadi
stepped
dua,
into the
gua juga
newly
nulis
opened passageway.
2844. Gimana? Oh, itu dia. Apa nih? Secret passage. Dan sorry ya guys ya kalau misalnya video kali ini agak downgrade. Kemarin kan 180, mungkin sekarang akan angka 720 mungkin. I don't know. Oke. Loading. Karena aku nggak tahu kenapa ini
Descending deeper
game
into the building,
nggak
Stanley
masuk
realized he
di
felt a
ini,
bit peculiar. It
di
was a stirring of
apa
emotion in
namanya,
his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself,
nggak masuk
to
di
question the nature of his
OBS.
job. Why did he feel this now?
Aku agak pusing,
when for
cuman ya
years
udahlah.
it had
Kita
never
coba dulu
occurred
aja
to
ya.
him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
Kok gelap? Stanley Parable ini apa?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Oke.
Nope, still on board with death.
Dosyo, kita kemana nih guys? Kita ke sana. Atau ke sana? Kemana ya enak ya? Kemana nih guys? Enaknya. Tapi aku penasaran main escape. Cap cip cup ke debang kuncup kuda lari kejepit pintu. Oh shit, gak ada escape. Coba. Haha.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yes, I have strength. CCTV.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Fire.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Kalau fire gitu,
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Itu di bawah ada apa dah?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes. Termasuk ini yang di kepala kita nih.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Kita kok ke atas?
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Apa nih?
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Sekarang apa? Offline. Pencet. Apa nih? Mind control status offline loh. Oh ini kali. Kata apa nih? Off.
And when at last he found the source.
Langsung selesai? Cok, kita di mana anjir? Nggak kelihatan.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go.
Tadi dia belum selesai ngomong udah gua pencet off anjir. Sorry.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Apakah ini?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, Stanley happy. Nggak tahu beat the what? Achievement. Beat the game. I unlock it. Okay. Kita kembali lagi. Okay.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Kita balik lagi. Kok Stanley kan tadi udah luar? Stanley dalam bahaya.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Mana drink it? Where's the drink? The drunk. The coffee.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yes. Okay,
but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Apa nih? Swipe. Apaan tuh? Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her? Siapa dia?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Hah? Maksudnya? Oh, that room looks so pitch fucking black.
That's her, Stanley.
Kaget.
You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up
Kaget
the
gue.
phone.
Angkat gak guys? Angkat kali ya. Apa nih? Hah? Gimana lagi, Cok?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
Lu di mana anjir?
There we
Ini.
go. All right, now I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Enggak.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Ih, kok tiba-tiba. Tolong. Wow.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee for the place.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
If I not press something. I pressing every button in my keyboard except T. I cannot
But
do
in his
anything.
mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
What? Where TV? Oh, ini dia.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Zero.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Prepare to dinner. Halo Mbak, kamu nggak bisa deketin gitu sih Mbak?
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
It is the name of a game. Tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path. Mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more
Gak bisa
time.
masuk pintu, cok, anjir. No.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
My
In
wife
reality, all
gone.
he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
L2
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Yes.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Oh. 7.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Oh.
And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Oh, so Stanley the duel. Okay. So we come back in here on Stanley
all
Parable.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Oke, jadi ya.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
Okay.
entered the door on his left.
Masuk.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, thank you.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Yeah. This broom closet. Better than nothing. What is that? Is that a cockroach? Oke dah. How about broom closet? Dia diem beneran dong, nggak ngasih tahu lagi ya, oke.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bedroom. Because the boss know what the boss say goes. If the boss suffered loses, then that's what the boss does. Cus maksudnya. Oke. Oh, gue mencet E tadi. Kaget sendiri anjir. Panda. Cok, jangan dong. Oke. Sekarang apa? Jangan berisik dong, kita lagi denger lagu. Oke. Itu dia, Cok.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Enormous. Oke. Kenapa suaranya agak basah gitu?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind Control.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Violent death. Let's go.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Gigantic. Woo! Oh. Gue udah kaget ah. Hop. Yeah.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oke, Stanley, kita ngumpet Stanley. Stanley, hold on.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Woo! Oh, thank you, lady. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Open door. I like open door. Is that a heaven? Yeah.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office. Ini office kita. Ini kita jalan sini. Klik blicit. Nah, kita suruh milih di sini kan. Cet. Office komputer. Matiin. Emplo database. Itu ada nomor istri. Jadi kita udah hitungannya udah entet nih. The office. Habis luka. Button sound. The kreditnya bagus ya, nggak pakai apa deh. So, nah, maintenance room. Jadi ini adalah barang-barang yang sudah ada di sana. Itu apa? So what is this? Employee launch. Narrator outtakes. What the fuck?
See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad games.
Kevin Brightening, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for entire game roughly 3 separate times over 2 years development. There are 3 clips. These are clips from on early takes were not used in the final game. Jadi jadi naratornya tuh dia kayak dibikin 3 kali gitu. Tadinya ini kayak gini, bro. Tadinya kayak gini scriptnya. So sekarang itu clock. Jadi kita sekarang cuma tinggal jalan-jalan di ini freedom. Ini freedom ending. What the fuck is that? Yellow. Freedom ending. Ini freedom ending waktu beta. Ntar ya. Kita jalan-jalan dulu. Ini apa? Game design mockup. Tadinya kayak gini tuh lebih horor. Tapi sebenarnya game ini game horor apa bukan sih? Kayaknya bukan. Warzone. Fighting alien. Kita udah sampai sini. Jadi gue dapat ending apa ini? From Suvila. Final warning. There's narrator email camera. Will Stanley Parable have infinite quests? How many endings? If the Stanley Parable is really going to let me go shopping, I hope it will have fine selection of dessert goods. The fuck? Alex Pishil, I need life advice. What the? Well, the things I want to know is what will you do if Stanley enter any other rooms? What do you like in control room? Do I really want? Deh. Mungkin itu email-emailnya si narator buat si developer gamenya, karena ya seperti kalian lihat endingnya banyak. Ini kayak endingnya kayak nggak lebih dari cuma 1 gitu loh. Dan banyak ending. Dan aku masuk ke salah satu game. Salah satu endingnya.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Oke.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Woo. Oke. So, that's it. Ya, jadi itu adalah Stanley Parable versi gua. Ya, jadi itu adalah gameplay dari Stanley Parable yang memiliki banyak banget ending. Mungkin karena seperti yang kalian lihat tadi, kita bisa masuk ruang ini, kita bisa pilih itu, kita bisa ini, sampai bahkan naratornya juga kayak nge-message buat developernya, ini game mau dibawa kemana gitu loh. Jadi terima kasih buat teman-teman yang udah nonton video kebegabutan gue kali ini, dan gue harap kalian menyukainya, walaupun ya di video ini kita cuman kayak jalan ngikutin mere dan mere. So, terima kasih buat teman-teman. Kalau kalian suka videonya, kalian bisa like videonya, kalian juga bisa komen di bawah, terus kalian juga bisa share ke teman-teman kalian jika kalian suka dengan video gue. Dan bagi teman-teman yang belum subscribe gue, kalian bisa subscribe, dan kalau kalian sudah subscribe, kalian bisa nyalain lonceng notifikasinya. So, terima kasih buat teman-teman yang udah nonton. Mungkin gua akan main game yang lain di next video. Ragil degozaimasu. Sayang, bye bye.